free quality patients masterclass, how to get quality patients that actually book high revenue treatments. In it, I will reveal 5 steps to get the quality patients booking quality treatments. So, hi, I'm Carl Fox. So, as I say, there is bonuses at the actual end. So, who am I? I'll keep this super brief. If you are a business owner who thinks online marketing is hard, technical, and probably wouldn't work for you, then I've been exactly where you've been. I'm not techie. I'm not a marketing graduate. I'm not a marketer turned business owner. In fact, the complete opposite. I started a business I was passionate about with minus £2,000 overdraft, no investment, 0 contacts or experience, and huge overheads. Months of selling and 0 sales led me to discovering online marketing and the huge opportunities it held for my business. Now, it is and was the quickest, easiest, and most cost-effective way to grow any business. And so I set out to learn it all. Conferences, podcasts, mentors, coaches, courses, the lot. After spending years learning and years implementing, word soon spread of some of the results I was getting for myself. So that was word of mouth, which led to the phone ringing. And with client results coming in thick and fast, it continued to ring. Now, you're probably here because you've tried some marketing and you're stuck and not getting anywhere. Or you're unable to find leads consistently. And of course, there is more and more competitors in your locality. Now, you're also here because there's more NHS practices going private and your appointment book. Now, I don't expect it to look like this, completely empty, but you get the picture. You've possibly got empty slots that you're having to juggle patients around. And the other thing is, which would have worked maybe 10 years ago, but you're possibly relying on SEO to rank your website, when now 50% of Google is now paid ads. And you can see this at the top of Google, in the middle, and at the bottom. The same applies to posting on social media. Quite a few years ago, you could have posted and your followers would have seen most of your posts. Now it's probably around about 2% of people who post from their business page, their followers actually see the actual post. So that's all been majorly cut back. Now, wouldn't it be great instead if you had a system you could turn on like a tap, could confidently get new leads booked in consistently, and target specific patient treatments, increasing your revenue? Now, the way to do that is to have a repeatable sales process. And the way to have it repeatable is to have it automated. So pretty much set up like a conveyor belt where a lead starts making an inquiry and then there is an automated flow that works 24/7 to gradually warm them up so that they turn into a patient that not only books an appointment, but turns up to the clinic and starts paid treatment or booked deposits. So that's really the ideal of marketing, having a system that's repeatable and automated in place that you can simply turn on and off like a tap. So this is where paid ads comes in. You can look at it like here, this image on the left. If you're trying the old way of sales like SEO or cold emailing, then that just doesn't work, because when you send a cold email, it's very cold and you don't know what part of the journey a particular patient or lead is at. Now, when you use paid ads, and I'll use a bit of a cliche, but it's like running a flag up the flagpole and seeing if anyone salutes it. Now, some people will, so you know that they're in the right space. And really, that is the key to unlocking improved revenue, because what that process starts is, you know, they've raised their hand, they've effectively seen your offer, i.e. your call, your flag, they've raised their hands and they've saluted the flag, if you want to say. And then that way you can then target and automate your system to make that cold lead, warm them up, and bring them into your actual practice. Now, I'm going to give you some client case studies. Now, just one particular campaign that we ran, which you can do. 2 brought in 69,000 in new revenue in just the first month, and that was with just a £20 per day ad budget. Now, of course, the following month, they increased their budget to bring in more revenue. Who wouldn't? Now, another campaign got 59 Invisalign patients booked in with deposits paid in just 2 weeks. Now, I always try to give you the exact budget because they didn't just come in, it did obviously cost, and the budget to do that cost £1,223. But that was for 59 Invisalign patients booked in with deposits paid. So that's just 2 campaigns there. This is a Google Ads screenshot from very recent, 28 December, 26 Jan. You can see the cost of just one dental practice is spending per month is £12,000. Now, they've been doing that since the first quarter of 2022. And what this shows is this is showing per quarter. So this is more accurate if I show you up to the 31st of December rather than having the first month of this quarter. That makes sense. So the first quarter, they started out around the £1,500 mark. And then literally the next quarter, they had doubled their ad budget. And they would only have done that if they were being profitable, i.e. you don't increase spending on ads if you're not seeing a return on your investment. So they carried on throughout the year and they've gradually increased where they are literally, as I showed you in the first slide, spending £12,000 per month just on the Google ads, and they are profitable ads and they will continue to carry on spending. So since the first quarter of 2022 up until the end of last year, they spent a total in red here of £136,000. You can see that just there. Now, they've got a very clever system, and it basically, they've got CRM, which maps out which ad actually generated which patient name and which treatment that brought in the revenue. So it looks a bit like this. I've cut out the actual patient names because that's confidential, but you can see the type of campaigns, emergencies here, London Target, CPA, and you've got different emergencies, broken snap veneers. You've got different campaigns, but they know which ones generate specific patient revenue into their practice. So it's not just a case of running some Google ads or Facebook ads. They've got a CRM, which on the back end, they can map out which treatments and which patients are responding to the actual ads. So that's another way to automate your flow. So here we go. We've got a goal, a problem, if you like. A dental practice had hired another marketing agency, which you may have done in the past, and failed to produce any results, or they tried to do it themselves. What you can do, and what we've done, is you can analyze the past campaigns and you can find out if they were using the boosted post method on Meta, which is not something I recommend. If we implement our marketing campaign, we focus on generating high quality patients. With the boosted post Meta way of doing things, you're essentially just boosting the post out to friends or followers of that person. So it could be their relative or a friend, which basically doesn't mean they're in the place for high quality dental treatment. Now, this also applies to aesthetics clinics or different medical clinics. It's not just dentistry, but it's always good to have a clear example. So here we go. We've got the revenue calculator. So I'm just going to pop into that to show you as quick as possible some revenue generated. So here we go. We've essentially, I'm going to change this down to what I think is very low rate. There we go, of opportunity to booked rate and book to conversion rate. So let's just change that down now. So here we go in purple. we've generated, say, 67 opportunities, and I'll show you further opportunities that we've generated in the past, but say in a month, 67 have come in. Now, the booked rate from that, if we say it's only 35%, which is an average realistic amount, and then from the actual booked people, now I'm going to put the conversion rate. This is people that agree to the treatment and actually pay for the treatment. So this is not someone who's seen an ad, made an inquiry and not turned up. And this is what a lot of agencies will promise is more leads coming in. Well, leads don't equate to revenue. And this is what I want to show you today is from 67 opportunities, if the booked rate is only 35%, the conversion rate is only 35%. If the average customer value, i.e. the treatment, was say £3,000, I've picked that, or Invisalign, for example. Now, your Invisalign value treatment cost may well be 4,000 or 5,000. I've picked it very low at £3,000. Now, if that's the case, your expected extra revenue would be £24,622. Now, that's a return on investment of 1,094, and that actually factors in down here the cost of the opportunities, the amount of actual bookings, and the actual conversions going in. And it's also got down here, and it's minus the ad campaign metrics. So the cost per lead was £15. Okay, let's remember that value. The cost per booking from that, if our booked rate is only 35%, it's actually cost £96, and the cost per conversion is £321. But you have generated an extra over and above the actual ad campaign budget and cost. You've generated an extra £24,622 that you would not have done if you had not run some paid ads. Now, I just want to show you another metric here. If we change this to 50%, and your conversion rate. Now, a lot of dentists tell me that once they've got someone in the actual chair and they've had the consultation, they would say that 50% go ahead with the actual treatments and payment. So we'll use that. Now, I've given you a very low example before. So let's go with something booked rate of 50%, conversion rate of 50%. If we have 67 opportunities, your expected extra revenue would be £50,000. So this is just a quick example of what you possibly may expect if you have your booked rate higher and your conversion rate higher. And that can be achieved if you, which I'll talk about later on in this masterclass, is if you bring in automations to your business. Okay, and I'll show you what they are later. So I hope that makes sense. So now most new advertisers only start with one ad. This is not really the best way to do. Even all the Facebook and Google will tell you to have multiple ad sets with multiple ads. Now, this is there because people resonate with different ads. For example, if you're just running a graphic ad and someone's actually got the time to watch a video, if you haven't provided Google or Meta with an actual video option, it can't serve that ad, which means the person may well scroll past the graphic. If, however, they haven't got time to watch the actual video, if you haven't shown them an actual graphic ad and not provided Meta or Google a graphic ad, then, well, they can't actually show them that, which is a quick way for them to absorb what the offer is, what the actual advert is about. So I hope that makes sense. You need to show them different mediums, still photos, posters, graphics, and also videos, and you need to show multiple varieties of them to give the higher chance that it resonates with the actual audience you're trying to get to inquire with you. So have multiple ads. Here's an example on Meta. So this is one dentist. So you can see across the top, there's 5 ads here. You can also see where the screenshot has cut off. There's another 5 ads here. And when I scrolled down earlier today, there was actually another 10 ads. So at any one time, this is Meta, they have 20 ads that can run, and Meta's AI can work out which one is more likely to be responsive to the actual person who's viewing them. So have multiple ads running. Now, here's a example of what to do and what not to do. On the left, we see here we have a large chain, Portman Dental Care. They're national, they're all across the UK and I believe Ireland. Now, their ad is just this. This is all it says. It says we can help with missing teeth, crowded, crooked teeth, gaps between teeth, damaged teeth, discolored teeth. But there's no actual offer there. This ad, which I actually designed, in the first 2 lines, I've got emojis which says save £8,000 on full mouth dental implant at the dental clinic. Now, that's crucial because when the ad runs on Meta, you only actually see the first 2 lines. You have to click lower to see more. So Portman are missing a massive thing there, because in the first 2 lines, they're only saying we can help with missing teeth. People don't actually get to see the rest. And the big major problem they've done there is they've actually listed 4 different treatments there. They've listed implants, Invisalign, damaged teeth, probably composite bonding there, and discolored teeth. Well, that's teeth whitening. So they're confusing the people by listing 4 different treatments. Whereas if you're running an ad, make the ad specific, like this one on the right, where you're only talking about the actual treatment that the ad is talking about, so that it resonates. So the person looking isn't confused. So don't be too general, be very hyper specific and relevant. And you can also see another one in their actual call to action down the bottom here. It says high quality treatments, exceptional care. So again, it's too general, too vague. You really want something like this: claim this limited time offer now. So that creates, the person reading that needs to be aware that there's a time limit to the actual offer, and it's a call to action saying claim this offer now. And then it's even pointing to the button to get the actual offer. So I hope you can see the differences between what really is a vague advert, the actual copy, the text is actual vague. It's calling to multiple treatments. It's not giving any kind of offer there. Whereas the one on the right is saying straight away, someone's going to pause in their scroll and say, wow, save £8,000. How can they do that? That's amazing. So 99% start running paid ads of people, don't see a return or get frustrated and stop, declaring it a waste of money, because 99% kind of misunderstand what an ad is and how they work. You may think they have some kind of like magical properties that make them work, or don't, and that if you tick the right boxes and select the right audience, then they will literally chuck out leads and money, hoping there is a top secret option to just target people who have money, i.e. rich people. Well, it doesn't work like that. You can't actually target people based on their income. People who think this, you shouldn't run the ads. You need to do a bit more research, because you will be wasting good money after bad, like this image here shows. There's 2 factors that can make an ad work, and it's the actual offer you give and the content, the actual creative that is there. Will that stop the scroll? An ad is simply amplified content. So it's like posting, but it's amplified. You're using your ad budget, your money, to increase the number of people who see it, and you're asking them to interact with it. So instead of posting and a few people see it, you're paying Google or Meta to put your ad at the very top, and then trying to get people to interact with it. And a good offer with good content, if you have that, you can send it out, and with little targeting, it will actually work. Now, the other thing that most people who start running ads don't do is they don't run retargeting ads. So I'll go into what is retargeting. Essentially, the user comes along, visits the actual advert or your website, and as you can see in the top right, 97% leave without making an inquiry or taking an action. Now, What most websites do and what most ads do is they capture the cookies, the identifiers, if you like, of the people that have looked at the ad or engaged with it in some way. So what you should be doing down the bottom right here is showing retargeting ads here so that when they later log on to browse the internet, they get captivated by the retargeting ads. Don't forget, they can see them 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. So you're warming them up. They get used to what you do, what treatments you offer, and they then make an inquiry. So, you know, a lot of people don't, on the first ad, immediately respond and reach out. They need multiple retargeting ads to get them to make an inquiry. And if you're thinking of running ads, make sure you have retargeting, because I can guarantee you most of your new inquiries, most of your new leads will come in via the retargeting ads. They won't come in via the initial ad. So make sure you have retargeting in place. Super crucial. Now, the other thing to note is, despite being very, very effective, retargeting ads have a particular problem if you work within the medical industries. So if you're a dentist or aesthetics or any of the medical industries, effectively, if you try retargeting, you will get banned, because although on Google, on Google, they will allow you ads, initial ads, but they don't allow retargeting ads now, and they don't actually tell you why their policies are there to do that. This is an image of what they tell you. Down the bottom left, it says all visitors Google ads. In red, not eligible due to a sharing, privacy, or other policy issue. And then it doesn't really go into it. Now, to me, that seems a bit unfair, because other professionals like solicitors or accountants, they're actually allowed. It's absolutely fine. They can use all the power of retargeting ads to get the leads to come into them, but dentists can't on Google. So if you're thinking about Google ads, there's another way that you can use retargeting ads to get people to come back to your offer or your website. Let's have a look. Now, this is what retargeting ads look like. Now, this is a page called WebMD. You can see the article here takes up most, but you've got an ad across the banner at the top and down the side. And you can see it's airline ads for some reason here. And if we go here, this is the Daily Mail, and you can literally see across the main body and all down the actual sides is you've got a high street shop, Aldi advertising, and you've got the Mail's article in the middle there. So this is like a dentist who is technically on the high street. This is a big high street chain advertising. That's what Google ads can look like. But as I say, dentists and medical industry professionals are not allowed to actually advertise using Google's partners. Google forbids it. Now, I will come to the main part of this masterclass because I try to get to the details as quick as I can. So the 5 steps to get quality patients booking quality treatments without spending or wasting a moment posting on social media or hoping or relying on word of mouth. So number 1, you need to get attention. Now, you do that with proper paid ads, and you get seen across search engines and social media. It won't work if you're just hoping that your SEO will get you onto page 1 of Google, and it won't work if you're posting just on your business page, because they've cut all that organic reach years ago. So it has to be done with proper paid ads. Now, you may think sending it to your website is the best way, but it's not. You need to send, number 2, send the traffic to a high converting landing page, which pre-qualifies the patients. Okay, that's super important. That's number 2. Number 3, have an instant automated follow-up via text and email. So as soon as someone has inputted their details in response to your ad, they get a message on their phone, texted to them, and they also get an email which they can view on their phone or their laptop or desktop. What that does is it stops them looking or searching for someone else, i.e. your competitors, because they're then confident that they've got multiple ways to reach back out to you and that their inquiry, when they filled the form out, has been received. So they then stop looking for competitors. Now, number 4, your manual sales follow-up to book them in, or have an appointment setter or a dedicated treatment coordinator who is given time away from other duties to follow up multiple ways. And then number 5, the 5th step, is just the new patient arrives, pays and starts treatment. So that's just you doing what you do best is number 5. But without the other 4, you don't get number 5. So I hope that makes sense, and I will just move on. Now, there's mistakes made sending new patients, as I said, to your brochure website. So the brochure can look like this. Page 1, for example, could be your homepage. Page 2 could be your About Us page. Page 3 could be treatments page. Page 4 could be Contact Us. So it's like a brochure. You literally click on different pages. So you may have a good looking website, and you may even have paid for some SEO services. However, if you're just sending new patient inquiries to your homepage, which is a non-specific general page that just talks about your practice and doesn't mention the actual specific and relevant treatment offer that the new visitor has clicked on in the ad, then I'm afraid most new visitors will just drop off and exit the website, having navigated around your multiple pages trying to find the offer or treatment that they initially clicked on from Google or social media. This is the number one problem that most businesses, let alone dentists, face when trying to get new leads. Because don't forget, most come through on the mobile phone. So if they land on a page that isn't relevant to the actual ad and then have to start clicking and navigating around, eventually they're going to drop off, and most do. And the reason for that is, unfortunately, a website is just too general for most people's attention span. You need to have the specific and relevant ad pointing to a specific and relevant landing page. That only talks, it can only talk about the offer or treatment that the person is interested in. And the landing page must have certain high converting elements that massively improve the conversion rates. And it must have multiple calls to action throughout the actual page to get the visitor to inquire and leave their relevant information so that you can contact them in multiple ways, because a confused buyer doesn't buy. If you do this, if you do a correct landing page, you massively increase the amount of inquiries you convert, and also you pre-qualify those new inquiries so that when you get in touch with them, they're ready and eager to book in for your treatments, making the whole booking in process massively easier, and you end up with new patients willing and eager to pay their deposit and start treatments with you. Now, mistake number 2 is the following up of new leads. Now, number 1, not calling multiple times on multiple days. Number 2, not using other methods such as text, WhatsApp, emails, WhatsApp videos, or voice mails. So don't just rely on a phone call. Number 3, not trying different times of the day. What you'll find is people respond at different times of the day. They might be on a school run, they might be traveling to work, they might be in work, they might be on lunch. Try different times of day and you will get success if you try it at different times. Some people respond, quite late. If they finished work at 5, you can catch them at 5:15. Now, number 4, if you're not using a CRM to log and chart new leads and the progress they're actually at, the stage they're at from start to follow up to finally paying for treatment, then you really don't know exactly where they're at. Number 5, not having an instant automated response that confirms you have received their inquiry, which stops the lead looking and booking elsewhere. And finally, number 6, not using the double call method to get through to the leads. I'll go into that in 1 second. We've got a golden follow-up to leads, which I can show you. It's extremely complicated. The other thing you can do is use appointment setter or your treatment coordinator give that coordinator time in the day, morning, around lunchtime, late in the afternoon, to just appointment set. Get people in, call them multiple times of the day on multiple days, text them, leave voice messages, which you can do via WhatsApp or just on their phone direct, and do that constantly over different days. And the reason for the automated text and automated instant email is, here's a study from the Harvard Business Review, and it says this: new inquiry leads are 10 times less likely to respond after 5 minutes, whilst your conversion rates are 98% higher when following up within 5 minutes. So really think about that. 10 times less likely to respond. So these are the people that don't answer their phone, don't answer emails, don't respond to text. And that is because of the delay between them making the initial inquiry with you and you following up. If you have an automated text message so that when someone inputs their details, presses send to you, if they then receive a text and email automation, then you have followed up within the first 5 minutes, and they're far more likely to respond because you're still fresh in their mind and you're still top of mind. They're still in the zone for when they actually made that initial inquiry. So I hope that makes sense. So this is a little snapshot of our golden follow-up. Now, day one, we would call one call, we would double dial. So this brings us down to here. What's the double dial meaning? So if no answer on attempt number one, call them again, literally seconds after attempt number one. This will break silence mode on certain phones, meaning the phone will ring, which will increase chances of an answer. Also, a lot of people do this. They have their phone in their coat, they walk into the office or back home and they take their coat off, or it's in a bag and they leave that in the hall, then go upstairs, they go off. They hear the phone ringing, they come back to where it is, they pick it up, it's stopped because they've taken too long. Then if you're calling the second time, it suddenly starts ringing again and it's in their hands. So that's why and how the actual double dial works. It massively increases your response rate. Now, that's just call number one. If they don't answer, leave a voicemail, number two. Number three, text them and email saying who you are and why you were calling. And what you do is later in the day, you do the same thing. And again, later in the day, you do the same thing. So day one is multiple calls. On day two, we repeat that. And if you don't reach them, repeat that on day three. And the reason they've done that is they've reached out to you. So you literally have an obligation to try and get through to them and be the actual solution. When you reach out to them, make it personal. You would have asked for their name. So if you email them back, make sure you address them by their name. And as I say down here, a lead is a lead. So every person who they might be in pain and suffering that you treat is a potential client, whether they signed up last month or last year. That problem doesn't get fixed without your actual help. So keep contacting them, unless, of course, they say, please stop. And then that is the time that you do stop. Now, this is the type of campaign you should be running to get fully booked. Google will work better than Facebook initially, but Facebook definitely has its place. So starting with Google and then Facebook, the goal here is to get people to click. And you can do that by having a great offer and using attention-grabbing copy and images. Now, your targeting has to be very crucial. Show your ads and target the right people. For example, you can target men or women in specific age groups for a specific dental offer. So if you're thinking younger people, that could be Invisalign. If you're thinking older people, that's probably implants. And then you need to send them to a lead capture page. Now, this can look like this here. Once you have the right people, send them to a high converting landing page for them to claim the offer. Now, they need to leave their name, phone number is crucial, and email. This indicates if they're leaving their phone number, they are highly interested in your offer. So you pre-qualified them. So they've seen their ad, they've been super targeted, they've come to the landing page, They've seen the relevant ad offer again, and they input their details. So this is how it looks. You would get a new opportunity, an instant notification. And we found that by responding to the leads within 5 minutes, as I showed on a previous slide, has dramatically improved appointment and close rates. Now, your follow-up is super crucial. Follow-up can get more leads to turn into appointments, whether done by phone, email, or text, or WhatsApp. So I hope I've highlighted that enough. And this is effectively how you get more revenue. We've done this for multiple dental clinics, and it's proven to work over and over again. And you can do this too. So get the instant automated notifications in place and get your follow-up completely nailed down. So I'll just show you how you can pinpoint location targeting. You can literally choose an address. You can choose the radius around that. We've chosen 5 kilometers, and that will then only show your ads to those people in your actual location. So you don't want to be showing ads to people who are literally too far away. So here's some actual sample ads. So yeah, free scan, free retainer, dental implants. There's normally an actual offer of a saving in there or something in it for the actual person looking. So this one's just saved 10%. So that's at least something. And yeah, you need bold images that are going to stand out and stop people scrolling. And yeah, they can look like this on the mobile phone. So they literally take up most of the screen on a mobile phone, which you can see there. And they need to be mobile landing pages. Don't just have optimized for the website. So they need to be optimized for the actual mobile phones, because it's pretty much 90% of people will be looking on their mobile phones. In fact, I don't think I've looked at Facebook on a desktop for 10 years, something like that. So it must have mobile. And also the offer types, don't just have a marry me type offer type. You need to have different offers in there, which will resonate with different people. Now, one of them, for example, could even be you could run it on Facebook ads, offer a free treatment masterclass. So just like I'm doing here, you could offer a free treatment masterclass. This could be about Invisalign. This could be about dental implants. And you can speak in general terms, and you can do it to multiple people on Zoom. You could do it once every 3 months, so it's not too much workload. And this really is not, it's a type of ad that works because you're not saying, buy this from me now. You're saying a much easier and with a much lower barrier to objection is you're saying, please come to my free Zoom masterclass where I will talk about Invisalign treatment or dental implants, and you can learn more. Well, of course, you're going to get a lot of people taking you up on that. But again, I will say you must have instant automated reminders for this to work. This applies for any paid ads. So this is what generally you want to be using. This is known as the AIDA model in marketing. The paid ads work because this is where you're getting their attention, and you get their interest with a bold offer, which creates a desire. Okay, so you list the benefits to them in the actual offer as well, and you have a bold call to action. So this is the AIDA model, and that's what we would recommend you using. This is something we actually use for our clients. This is a lead generation snapshot. It's pretty technical. What I've done on the next slide is broken it down so it's much easier to consume. So here we go. So you can see here, entry to a funnel. So we use Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube that will send people to a high converting landing page. So it sends them to the high converting landing page. This page is designed to pre-qualify leads and with a lot of volume. Now, here's the Google Ads, Facebook Ads, Instagram, sends them to the high converting landing page. On that page, it captures the custom audience tag and pixel, which is basically the cookies are collected. Now, what that means is we can use retargeting ads. Now, the thing with Google, as I explained earlier, if you're medical or dentistry, you cannot run retargeting ads, but Google's not the only platform. You can run retargeting ads on Facebook and Instagram, so that if someone's actually searched for you on Google later in the day or an hour later, when they open up Instagram or Facebook, your ad appears to them. So what we then do is we send them onto a highly compelling call to action, which captures the lead details. And this works 24/7. So it's not just when your clinic is open or your business is open. This works in the evening, at night time, in the night, early morning, and on the weekends. Now, what we then do is we have an instant 24/7 automated follow-up by text, email, and WhatsApp. This warms the lead up, it instills confidence that their details have been received, and it stops further searching for a solution with your actual competitors. Then the lead details are captured and booked in for appointment. Now, it doesn't just end there, because what you need to do is have appointment keeping reminder campaign set up so that it gets them to actually get to the appointment and start treatment and pays. So that's how the system I would recommend actually looks. Now, there is other further mistakes as well. So what we've got is, if you're not using enhanced conversions, now things have changed an awful lot. With Google, you could just use the Google tag, but now things have changed. You need to use enhanced conversions because the cookie policies are not enough. Also on Meta, you need to use the conversions API. Effectively, if you're just using the Pixel, which is quite old now, you're effectively flying without radar. Now, here's a couple of diagrams here to show you if you're in controlled airspace using conversions API, that's going to be okay. However, if you're just relying on the Pixel, that's the example I'm giving you, you're effectively flying without radar. So you've got no prior awareness because you don't have the correct data. And of course, you can't see what's ahead of you. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, on the right here, you've got using the conversions API or the enhanced conversions. That's fine. It's no problem. But if you're not using that, you're pretty much on a low-level flight path. Basically, you're not using all the tools that Google and Meta has put at your actual disposal. So there we go. Moving on to the next slide. Automations, text, email. You may have gone through all of these your actual self. You may do this with bigger companies when you make an inquiry. And for example, your phone company will text you to say thank you. But you would have experienced this from larger companies like banks and insurance companies. But it is something that smaller businesses, dental practices, clinics can actually implement themselves. Now, this is another thing that really does need to be looked at. So there's email changes in February 2024. Google and Yahoo recently announced they're implementing new email authentication requirements effective February 2024. And this is to help deliverability and prevent spam. But what it means for you is this. You send an email. So recipient email the server. Now that server checks something called DMARC, DKIM, and SPF records. What that does, it then sends that information back to the email server, who then analyzes it. And what it can do, it can send it either to reject or into the spam, or it can send it to the actual recipient email address. So you've pretty much got one of three options. And if you don't have DMARC, DKIM, and SPF option set up, you're probably in spam or completely rejected. I would say probably 30% of email, if you don't have it optimized and set up correctly here, only 30% arrives in the actual email inbox of your intended recipient. So I hope that makes sense. So if you've got that set up correctly, you're going to massively improve your response rate to your actual emails. Okay, so this is why I say other methods are super crucial: phoning, texting, WhatsApping, WhatsApp videoing. It's super crucial. So it looks like we're at the Q&A now. So if you've got any questions, pop them in the chat or send them through below and I can go into them. But now's the time, pop any question through, notes or details just below, and I will respond below there. And this is a dentist review. I shan't play that for you. If you want that, if you want a review of someone I've worked with, I can send that link through to you. And you can actually, it's like a virtual chat with someone who's actually worked with us here. Now, bonuses, I can send this through to you. Here's the actual address here, but I can send this through to you. This is the 9 words email that could change your practice. This is essentially 9 words, a document about why it works, the psychology of how it works, what you can expect once you've sent the 9 words email, and how to follow up on that. But this can massively change your practice. So if you want that, I can send you a link, or you can email me audit, AUDIT, at denmarketing.co.uk. That's DEN marketing.co.uk. Or just send me a DM on LinkedIn and I'll just pop that over to you. Super, super easy. Now, I'll also, if you request, I can send you Facebook ad templates and ad copy templates. I can DM those over to you or email them if you prefer. If you want any further YouTube videos talking about this, I can share my channel. I've got quite a few YouTube videos on there talking about how you can get more quality patients booking treatments. There's also a video that we've got goes into more detail of what I showed you earlier. And the video is just about how we scaled profitably paid ads from about 1.7k a month through to £12,000 per month. And it shows you each month, so you can see it's live. So that's the actual address there, but I can send that via a DM on LinkedIn. And also, just finally, just moving to the end, I've also got another video showing the 7 top tips to get quality patients. So if you want any of those, just send me a DM. I shall respond, or email me at audit@denmarketing.co.uk. Now, if you want more than this, you can book a discovery call after the masterclass and get a more personalized one-to-one meeting that can specifically help get you more quality new patients. And if you want that, then just book in a time, just send me a DM and I'll send you this link back to you. If you want my email address, again, just send me a DM and I'll send it back to you, so you can just quickly copy and paste. But once again, final email is audit@denmarketing.co.uk. What I will do is just show you just a couple of results. And I mentioned previously about getting leads for $15. Here's some very quick screen shares of some ads that we ran. This is very recent. You can see 17 Jan to 2024. Now you can see that there, maximum Jan through to 19th of Jan, £12 per lead. So not 15 as I was using earlier in the revenue calculator. And you can see here more ad results, just £6 once they're optimized. This was for December of last year, so very recent, £6.81 and £7.93. So your actual revenue generated will be higher because the actual ads are lower. So I hope that makes sense. And you've got more here. This is an example, aesthetics clinics. This was for last month, just for 7 days, leads in at £3.97. So you can massively lower your actual lead cost if you run the ads correctly. So it's a bizarre thing with Google and Meta is if you have high quality ads, if they rate your ads as engaging or high quality to their users, they reward you with lower costs. So it's really worth putting in the hard work to make sure your ads are absolutely brilliant and absolutely perfect, because you're going to save budget. And what that means is for the same budget, you can show your ads to more people. So it's a complete win-win for you to work on your actual quality of the actual ads. So here's some for our US clients, $16, $15, $18, and yeah, 5 and 10 there. And this is kind of some of the revenue that was brought in, $39,000 in just 30 days of revenue that they would not have actually had. And you can do this too. This is $13. This is a good case study, 32 leads in 7 days. Some more client results. This is a good example. I'll show you another very good example. This is 102 leads with 47 new clients. Now, that's relevant because that's roughly 50% conversion rate. So that's from the actual leads being booked and paid treatments, sitting in the chair. That's about a 50% rate. Now, that brought in 94,000. And here, this is very relevant because compared to that last slide, 42 leads were generated, but only 11 new leads came in and were closed. So that's roughly a quarter. So that's only a quarter of leads. And I know from speaking to many, many dentists, they believe that their conversion rates are roughly around 50%. So for this example, it's super realistic that if you're only closing 25%, you're still generating 22,000 in new revenue that you would not have had if you didn't run paid ads. So I hope that makes sense. So let's just move on to the end of the actual masterclass. So once again, as I say, you can book a call or just DM me if you want any of those extra bonuses, if you want further videos, if you want the 9 words email that could change your practice, and if you want ad copy templates or the actual graphic templates, I can send those over to you. Just drop a message in the DM or just email me audit@denmarketing.co.uk. So I will end that there. Let's stop sharing and I will bid you a good afternoon. And as I say, any questions, just send me a DM on LinkedIn. Very happy to respond. Okay, thanks a lot.